there was a brief pause in the video, that's because David got kicked out again. But we were talking about St. Andrews, how the golf course itself is, an entity of its own. So, they have shared greens, means there's 2 holes on one green. The number of holes that are on that shared green always add up to be 18. So, I don't know. I think, let's just, for example, 17 and 1 shared a green. 17 plus 1 is 18. Every time there's a shared green. Hey!
Like you would go with 17
Quick
and
math,
1 as your
baby.
example.
I'm okay with it. That was just my example. Okay, 60-2. How about that one? But they all add up to be 18. So that's pretty cool. I think there's only 4 greens on the whole golf course that doesn't have another hole attached to it. And the greens are massive. They were kind of worrying about 3 putts. They were 3-putting too much. And, if you can 2-putt most greens, you can land on the green, agree to regulation, which is a good stat. But your green regulations might leave you with a 90-foot putt for birdie. So, that's kind of skewed in that sense. But I think the whole crowd was going to root for Rory McIlroy, in my opinion. I would have loved to see Rory win. I would have loved to see Victor Hovland win. But Cam Smith came back. I think Cam Young, who is his playing partner today, also finished second, had a very good day. But that's our golf spiel. Do you got anything else to add?
Frank, you're really downplaying how well this tournament played out today. You're really just killing it. But Rory had a 56-yard putt. Or no, was it Roy or was it Speed?
I don't remember.
Somebody
that was Rory.
yards off the green and they putted it.
That's crazy.
That was Rory, right? And he put it within like 10 feet, which I think I would never even get that close. But Cam Young hit it 10 feet on 18 from the driver, par 4, 10 feet from the pin, drops his eagle putt to skip Rory from third into second. That was an electric moment. And then you had the stat of the day, which they kept showing, was Cam Smith's total feet of putts versus Rory. Cam hit over 90 feet of putts today. I don't think Rory broke 40. Rory cannot sink anything 10 feet plus. He 2-putted everything. And they even said he broke Tiger's record of the amount of birdie 2-putts he had. With I think Tiger had 7 back in some early 2000s, and Rory had 10.
So I saw something on Rory as well. He's 33 years old. He hasn't won a major, which I know that's a small portion of the golf season. Hasn't won a major since 2014. That's a long time for somebody in their prime, right? 25 to 33, that is your prime in every sport. And you're usually on your way down. I know golf's got a lot more longevity than other sports.
Your golf prime might be 20 years.
But is he overrated?
No, he's not.
He'll probably get one again one day, right?
Here's why I know he's not overrated.
Really?
Wasn't he the one that like broke his ankle?
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Like playing basketball.
But here's the thing about Rory, and a bunch of other ones too. You could throw Dustin Johnson in the mix. He won a major last year, won the Masters, but he's been playing golf forever and doesn't have that many majors. Rory just happened to win his right away, and so did Jordan Spieth for that matter. But now you look at both of those players, almost the same age. I think Spieth is like 26, 27, 28. He's in the late 20s, but there might be 5 years apart. You look at the leaderboards. Rory finished 3. Jordan Spieth, top 10 this week. Both of them have wins already this year. Their prime is not over. It's just that winning a golf tournament, a 72-hole golf tournament, consistently over and over again is hard. You look at here's a problem with our generation. Tiger Woods spoiled us.
I don't think it's that.
You think that just to be a good golfer, you got to win every tournament you're in? No. Top 20, top 10s, making the cut, that's big deals nowadays, especially with the talent.
That's the same thing.
Well, I think what Rory benefited from Tiger falling off the face of the earth, though. Whenever Tiger got into his crap and, sex addiction therapy in Alabama or whatever, that's when Rory came on the scene and took over and started winning.
Is there a worse state to receive sex addiction treatment than Alabama? Let's just ask that real quick. Maybe West Virginia. I'm sure we're in there. We're in the top 5, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but Alabama's got to be up there.
We don't have a lot of room, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Dave's a Kentuckian. I don't care what he says now, but he's like 3 different states. But
yeah,
you can't talk crap about other states when we live in Kentucky, which I love living in Kentucky, by the way. There's nothing I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. You guys have lived other places. There's not a lot that beats Kentucky. There's a lot to do here.
Yeah. But on what you were saying, sorry, I just had to throw that out there.
Totally worth it.
I don't think it's about winning every tournament. It's the majors, right? Because that's the one everybody signs up for. You got people that don't play in tournaments every weekend. You can get a win on the PGA Tour that's not going to mean as much. But those majors are just like those championship rings in basketball or football. Like, that's how you're getting measured. Yeah. It's not overall wins or event wins. It's the majors. And he's won them. So he's up there. Obviously, he's in the conversation. But it's just been a while. I was just wondering what you guys thought on that, if he was kind of fading away, or if you think Rory's going to be here for a while.
Rory's got 10 years of really good golf left in him, maybe more. You're looking at the way golf is shaped now. There's more talent now than there ever has been. So nobody's Tiger Woods. Nobody's probably even Phil Mickelson back when him and Tiger were making their rounds. But anybody else other than those two, 20 years ago in the early 2000s, they don't really hold a candle to the top 50 players now. I think if you take somebody like Xander Schauffele and plop him in the early 2000s with his game right now, he wins multiple majors. Same thing with Scotty Scheffler. Same thing with Victor Hovland. You've got even some, John Rahm is definitely one that's going to have more than one major. But the top 50 players nowadays are, in my opinion, arguably probably consistently the top 15 players back in the early 2000s. Any one of them, top 50 now would be in the top 15 back in the day. Our elementary school days, when we put that way, early 2000s. I don't think you can argue that.
Yeah. But and I think we even get into the LIV stuff because Rory wasn't playing that well until this year. I mean, he finished second at the Masters, I believe. He won a tournament a couple weeks ago. Open, and he won. Yeah, he won the tournament, the inaugural LIV weekend. I mean, he's the PGA Players Union president. Yeah, I don't think it's any surprise that all of a sudden he's kind of turned it back on and is playing way better than what he was.
Jordan Spieth is kind of the same, man. He fell off the face of the earth, and he's a guy that everybody likes. I can't believe we've had a whole conversation about golf and not mention Justin Thomas's name one time, but Justin Thomas, if you put him in with Tiger 20 years ago, he's probably number 3 and behind him and Phil. But any way you put it, these guys that are playing right now, winning majors is hard, regardless of how good you are at golf. One hole or one swing of the golf club, that's the difference. It's literally inches. And it just so happens to be on, Rory lost it on a golf course that has the world's biggest greens, and he didn't putt very well. And Cam Smith was running them in like crazy. So that's the game, and that's why it's so fun. I mean, you can say that just about any sport. Literally every sport's a game of inches and small details, and small details got Rory beat.
Yep.
It was really his. It was his to lose, and he found a way.
Yep.
But anyway, fellas. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, fellas,
our
we're going to switch gears to the NBA. A lot of interesting things have happened in the NBA in the last couple of weeks since we've last recorded an episode. One of the bigger things would be Rudy Gobert getting traded. What else we got? Kevin Durant. The ordeal with Kevin Durant. Nobody knows where he's going. The asking price for him is crazy. You got Kyrie Irving, the same thing. People are skeptical about where he's going to end up. LeBron playing in the Drew League with, dropping 42 points on a bunch of carpenters and plumbers back in some high school gym. Pretty cool.
Did you guys?
And he lost, by the way.
Kyrie was supposed to play in the Drew League also.
It's his league, isn't it?
And I believe so.
Yeah, it's Uncle Drew.
Anyway, in character, did not show up. Was supposed to play, just didn't show up. Turns out he was at a youth basketball camp in Los Angeles with Lakers coaching staff, working with the kids instead of attending his own league. So,
well, the fact that LeBron played in the Drew League for the first time in 20 years, I believe, is the number. That goes to show he's being recruited hard to come to LA. And who cares at this point? It's still going to be a drama-filled atmosphere with Kyrie Irving thrown in the mix. It's been drama everywhere he's been, including Duke. The dude was injured the whole time he was at Duke, never even played. So it could help the Lakers. I just don't know why LeBron, who in my opinion is one of the greatest basketball. I can't say he's the greatest, but one of the top 2 greatest basketball players of all time. And then the dude tries to find any way in the world to try to get whoever he wants on his team. Dirk Nowitzki didn't do it. Kobe didn't do it.
What I don't get is
they suck.
Why would you?
That's where superstars go to die. Right now, the Lakers are where the superstars go to die. Anthony Davis, superstar, went to the Lakers, half a star.
He's the superstar for the freaking EMTs. When's the last time the dude played a full season? I don't know if he's ever completed a season in his career.
I was watching Charles Barkley calls him street clothes. Anthony Street Clothes Davis. Because he's
100% right.
But Russell Westbrook, superstar. Goes to the Lakers, less than half a star. Russell Westbrook is what they're calling him now. It's something about, man, there's going to a better organization doesn't mean you're going to be playing for a better team. Like Russell Westbrook, can you imagine if he was still with the Thunder with what they have? Like,
yeah.
Well,
they
wouldn't have what they have.
But like they've been stockpiling draft picks, but like
first rounders or whatever.
Just think about it though. Even with like 3 or 4 of those draft picks and Russell Westbrook, that team's a dynasty.
Yeah. The problem isn't the Lakers, it's Lay GM, right? I mean, Bron's running that team.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's in the conversation for the second best player of all time. He's not in the conversation for the first. We've had that debate. There is a gap. There's a huge divide. But he can't manage a team. He's like, I want Anthony Davis, and the Lakers send out 3/4 of their roster to make it happen. And then there's no team. There's 2 guys, one who has moved to every championship he's won, and the other who's never played a full season. Like that's not going to get it done for you. And I think Westbrook, he's got a bad rap because he is one of the few guys in the NBA that goes out there and he plays hard, right?
Yeah.
So he's on a crap team. Davis is dressed out in street clothes. LeBron's doing his load management, and Westbrook's still trying to win the game. Like, I like Westbrook. His stats don't look great, especially his efficiency, but he's one of the few guys in the NBA that goes out there every night with the intent to win, and he's trying to do everything he can to make that happen.
And you can do that, and I don't have a problem with Westbrook either. Obviously, he's a great player. The dude was averaging triple doubles, a few short years ago. Which in the NBA, that might be an inflated number, but you still got to play hard to get those numbers. Whether or not your teammates give them to you or not, you still got to play hard. But now, like you said, he's trying to carry a whole historic organization on his back when he shouldn't have to. That should be LeBron's job. And then they can't keep a head coach. I don't even know who they just hired a new one, didn't they?
Darvin Ham.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. Came from Timberwolves or Bucks?
I
Something
believe
like
it
that.
came from the Bucks. Yeah.
One of them. One of those northern teams.
Um,
But switching gears to the Rudy Gobert thing. Did you see what the Utah Jazz got for him?
Yeah.
I don't know how that went through.
Yeah.
Whenever Chris
To hell
Paul
with that.
wasn't allowed to go to the Lakers, but you're going to let Rudy Gobert go to
And
the Timberwolves
three
for 4
pretty
first
decent
rounders
players.
and 3
A couple
players.
starters.
Wasn't that the final tally?
5 players, 4 first-round picks, and a pick swap.
Can you imagine?
5.
Can you imagine what you'd have to give for Kevin Durant?
Correct.
And one of the players.
Can you imagine what you'd
one
have
of
to
the
give for
players
Kevin Durant
was
now?
a first rounder
After
this
seeing
time.
that.
That's why he's not moved yet. 100%. This trade set the market. That's why Durant hasn't moved. That's why I don't know if Durant will move. And the same reason that there's so few talks on Donovan Mitchell, because it does look like Utah's selling.
They
very
definitely are.
interesting that Dwayne Wade has ownership in Utah, and the top team talked about for Mitchell is Miami, because he's still involved with that front office. There's no way Pat Riley and Dwayne Wade don't still smoke cigars together.
And
But
Danny Ainge is involved over there in Utah as well. And you saw what happened when he came in to the Celtics back when they had the big three, just started sending them on their way. And that's kind of what he's doing now. And I mean, it's worked. The Celtics have built back and they're in the hunt every year, but I don't think the Utah Jazz, I don't know if that's a very popular spot for players to go.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody want to go to Utah? A bunch of Mormons?
Mm-mm.
Well, no, not whenever you're trading away Rudy Gobert
Yeah,
and Donovan Mitchell. You're going to go play.
They
with
also traded
nobody.
Royce O'Neal, Brian Windhorst on his ESPN crystal ball. Got a lot of love on that. I despise Brian Windhorst. I have for a long time. The dude is on ESPN because he was the Cavs beat writer when LeBron came back to Cleveland, and he has moved up on those coattails and sniffing anything that LeBron puts out. And I don't know. I'm not a Wendy fan, but he nailed it with this one. He definitely brought everybody in to NBA free agency, took over social media, and he was the star of the day.
He's trying to make his own Woj bombs.
Yeah. He was right. He called it something's up in Utah.
Him, but I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway, anything else? I've watched a little bit of the summer league. I will say with our picks, I think I picked Jabari to be the best. Which one of y'all picked Paolo Banchero? So Coop would have picked Chet. Right now, it seems like Chet is the one that's probably going to have the biggest impact on his team right away. The dude is playing out of his mind. Kind of proved a lot of people wrong. And by a lot of people, I mean me. I'll fully admit I didn't have faith in the guy. But after watching him play, I mean, you can go play in Gonzaga. I know they go to the tournament every year. They make it deep. They play. They're getting better at playing in a better schedule, but like throughout the year, you're not really tested a lot. So that's kind of why I was kind of shying away from picking him to do anything big, is just because of his historic, his history of not playing good competition. In the NBA, every team's good, no matter, even the shitty teams are good. So, I do think that him and Josh Giddey together are a match made in heaven. Both of them are freaking awesome. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on that team as well that you can throw in the mix. One of the best pure point guards in the league. Oklahoma City is a fun team to watch, and I don't really watch the NBA, but that might be a team I try to root for. I've always been more of a Pistons fan myself. Back in the Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton days.
Malice in the Palace.
That was my team, man. I remember watching it on my bed. It was funny because I picked a team, and then like 2 years later, the team won the NBA Finals. And like my favorite player of all time is Ben Wallace. Not a very good offensive guy, but the dude played defense, just dunked everything. So that's why I'm a Pistons fan. Don't really follow it. I know a couple guys on the Pistons. They had a good draft. But Oklahoma City would be a fun team to pick. If you're not into watching basketball, just pick Oklahoma City.
I think Ben Wallace is the only player in NBA history that should get Hall of Fame consideration while averaging under 10 points a game.
I'm pretty sure he is in the Naismith Hall of Fame. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean,
just got put in there this year.
He had that kind of impact on the game and did not do it scoring the ball.
No. One of my favorite players of all time. I loved him. Almost every year he played.
Didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year 3 or 4 times?
He was an icon. What a great team that was. And then they go and draft Darko Milicic.
Over Dwayne Wade, over
Chris Bosh,
Carmelo Anthony.
Let's go get Darko.
He's the Sam Bowie of the 2000s, right?
That's kind of when my fandom kind of stopped. That's when I stopped watching basketball.
Yep.
I love this. He had the best nickname in sports, right? The Human Victory Cigar. That's the only time you saw Darko on the floor. Yeah. The game was out of hand.
Tayshaun Prince, Kentucky legend.
Hey, speaking of Kentucky, they had a big week in the NBA. Not just UK, but the state as a whole. So 4 guys signed max extensions from their rookie deals. Devin Booker was one, Ja Morant, Karl Anthony Towns, all 3 with roots at, some level in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
All played college ball here. And then in addition to that, Jokic and Bradley Beal. So a lot of money going out. Deandre Ayton got a max offer sheet from Indiana. Phoenix matched that. Just a ton of money, setting all kinds of records. Wow. Huge contracts in the NBA.
I didn't know about the Ayton thing. I didn't know if that Indianapolis was pushing for him.
Yeah, and that kind of...
He doesn't strike me as a max deal kind of player.
He's putting up 17 and 10, playing center, defensive anchor. He can hit the 3.
Yeah, I guess it's where he plays out in Phoenix, and those games are always late at night, and I can't ever watch them, so I don't really see it.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Something interesting with that deal, because he was signed on a matched offer sheet, he cannot be traded until January 15th. And with Ayton on that roster through January, the Suns are out on Durant. And that's kind of been the number one team that he wanted to go to.
But they would have had to give up Devin Booker to get him, though.
Probably.
Any trade package that the Nets would ask for, Devin Booker would be involved.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the Suns
trade him. He's got 4 years. He's signed there. They can keep him, but Phoenix is out.
People might get mad at me for saying this, but what does Kevin Durant give you point production-wise that Booker doesn't?
I think you'd probably argue efficiency.
You're probably right.
He probably doesn't take as much volume as Booker does.
Booker scoring, he's a 25 to 30 point a night easily. But you give up him plus a bunch of other people, and then bring in one guy in the name of Kevin Durant, who is a bona fide one of the best players of all time. But I just don't think that helps a team. When you have a guy like Devin Booker on your team.
Well, I think that's where everybody's right. I think that's where everything's all jacked up right now, where everybody's looking at their friend's shiny toy that they want to play with. People don't realize what the talent they have underneath them, and if the Warriors beat out the Suns this year, I believe,
and
the Suns were
in the
an
bubble
NBA
too.
championship contention the entire season. So it's not like they're
Durant is. Yeah. I don't think Durant's a winner. I don't think he's going to bring you a championship. One of the best scorers in NBA history. I've never heard anybody talk about how good of a teammate he is. Nobody lauds his defense. Dude is 6'11", one of the most skillful players in the game, and he doesn't lock anybody down. Teams have to go get defenders when they have him, right, to match up with the Giannis and the Tatum and the LeBron. I mean, he's not guarding those guys the whole game. So I don't I don't know why a franchise would leverage their present and their future basically to get him, because it's going to take every pick you can offer. I think the NBA has a max. You can only offer 4 first-round picks, which is what Gobert went for. So you have to be giving up young stars. And that's what the Nets said. We want all-stars, and we want them under 25. There's not many of those.
That's like saying, hey, I want a gallon
don't we all
of liquid gold, and I'm going to give you a gallon of copper pennies for it in return.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're – I mean, that's stupid.
He's won 2 titles.
Whoever does that is bona fide not smart to trade for him with those stipulations, or it's somebody who is willing to tear down their complete entire team, sign Kevin Durant long-term, and then eventually hope you get 5 years out of him still in his prime, and hope and pray for free agent pickups that work out.
Yeah.
And it sucked. That's because they tried to go get people. Kyrie Irving screwed them over.
That's what the Nets did.
I'm telling you. James Harden. You can't put
effort.
Kyrie Irving and James Harden in the same room. Can't do it.
Yeah,
Blake Griffin.
But no, they went and got who was their center?
They had DeAndre Jordan,
LaMarcus Aldridge,
Harden,
2014, great team that they just have.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that's what they do. That's the money they had left over. That's all you can do is go get the has-beens and hope it pieces together. You know, you don't just have a Ray Allen floating around Miami Beach ready to hit a game-winning three-pointer.
In other words,
LeBron.
Again, I'll reiterate this. I've said it
game's
before.
Different
NBA
now.
sucks.
Yeah. I got one more takeaway on this. We'll move on, I promise. My issue with the whole trade demand, we just saw more young players. I just named off 5. Ayton makes 6. On rookie deals, get max extensions. And you're going to give away 4, 5 opportunities to get those guys in drafts in the future. Like, the talent coming up is so strong. We're talking about these guys, this fresh, rookie class that we have coming up. Banchero looks like a stud. I mean, guy might put up 20 and 10 this year and nobody would be surprised. I honestly think if Chet Holmgren can add about 30 pounds, there's no reason he can't be on one of those all-time teams. He can be a top 15 player of all time with that skill set. He is an absolute elite rim protector. Maybe one of the best in the NBA right now. Like, you put him up with Rudy Gobert, he's that good at blocking shots. And offensively, he's got a lot of Giannis's game, right? He can do everything. He can overpower you size-wise, height-wise anyway, length. He can stretch the floor. Like, why are you going to give up 4 of those draft picks for a 32-year-old Kevin Durant? I'm not doing it. But I'm not running an NBA team.
Here's the only reason that I think people are even considering it.
I'm not either.
You're looking at teams that don't maybe sell a lot of tickets. The revenue is not very good. Hoping that you bring in a guy like Kevin Durant to fill your arena, get excitement back in your organization, and have a guy like him revamp whatever you got going on that you're not really happy with. That's the only way I can think it's going to happen.
Yeah. The owner priority, revenue over success.
Yeah. So, last topic of the night, and I'm saying that with, probably 40 minutes on the clock right now. But, yes, Scoop?
I want to spin it off real quick. We'll be quick on this, but since we're talking NBA, I want to give a shout out to WNBA. Great league. Feel like they're doing great things. They just had their All-Star weekend. Actually, a good game. I don't know if you guys watched the WNBA All-Star game, but it was better than what you see in the NBA All-Star game. As far as players actually playing ball. Sylvia Fowles on her farewell tour got a dunk off in the All-Star game.
I did see the dunk on Twitter.
And then just kind of crazy stat I saw this week. I have to get it in the show. Lisa Leslie turned 50 a couple weeks ago. She scored 101 points in a high school game in the first half.
In a high school game?
In a high school game in 16 minutes.
Did she stand under the basket the whole time? She took every shot and made it.
So we've talked before about unbreakable sports records.
Timeout, Coop.
Some of those may be.
Coop. I'm flabbergasted right now. I knew that she scored 101 points in a game. Did not know it was first half. Let me tell you something, audience, all 12 of you. Listen, if you put me in a gym by myself and put the clock on 16 minutes, I'm not scoring 101 points. I'm not doing it.
Let me her stat line. In 16 minutes, again, high school basketball, 8-minute quarters, 37 of 56 from the field, 27 of 35 from the free throw line.
She took 56 shots in 16 minutes?
In the first half. She didn't score more because the other team left at halftime. That was it. That was the game.
Cowards.
She had 101 in the first, and they got on the bus.
Listen, if I'm the coach of the other team, I've had my fair share of beatdowns. 101 points in the first half probably doesn't, I've not had anything like that bad. But if I'm the coach of a team and there's a player cooking me for 101 points a half, I'm throwing my team back out there. I'm like, listen, ladies, we're playing a god out there. You are going to be a part of history tonight. We're going to see how much she can go. Just guard her a little bit. How about that?
You already are.
If she gets 200, you're running on Monday.
I bet she can't get.
I never condone injuring a player in sports.
She'd be getting a basketball to the face.
I'm just saying, if I'm coaching, shout out to Henry Parks. The Axeman's coming in. And 16 minutes ain't happening.
God, everybody's got to have a goon, man.
Yeah, hit us.
You want to know something crazy?
I saw that. She was 4 points away from
doesn't
tying
even have the record for most points in a game.
Oh.
Epiphany. Well, no, somebody broke that record. Epiphany Prince of Murray Bertram High School scored 113 points in a game.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't do it in a half. She's definitely got the half.
16 minutes?
Yes.
Man, that's stupid.
Nuts.
I think Candace Parker is probably
the closest. Did anybody else touch the ball? How do you get it up and down the floor that many times in 16 minutes?
She had to be stealing everything.
It had to be. She had to be guarding the inbound play. I need video. There has to be video of that.
There's some. Yeah. But just shout out to Lisa Leslie turning 50 and just
there is.
One of the GOATs, right? I mean, outside of Candace Parker, that's the name at the top of women's basketball.
I would throw Diana
Taurasi that I remember
a little bit.
I don't know if
she's.
I don't know if they've done as much for the game. Like I remember Candace Parker in that 2003
I would say those four right there that
McDonald's
we just named
dunk contest.
All right, impromptu women's basketball Mount Rushmore. Number 1, Lisa Leslie. Number 2, Candace Parker. Number 3, Diana Taurasi. Number 4, Sue Bird. There is no argument. Y'all got any? Do y'all know anybody else that could go on that list?
I mean, those are 4 big names. I'm sure there's others up there.
If you're out there, not yet.
Whoa. Hey, some sensitivity,
Britney
man.
Griner.
Not yet. I said not yet, which means there's a future.
Whoa. What she single-handedly broke Gino.
Who cares?
She broke Gino Orr.
She's not on the level of the other 4.
Got him off his train of
there are
national championships. And
David,
she's won
you
2
are
or
an
3.
idiot if you think Britney Griner is on the top 4 of all time.
We are. Yes, she is.
Sue Bird is good. Sue Bird's been in the league a long time. I don't know that Sue Bird is... I don't want to put any disrespect on this. I don't know that she is as dominant as the other players we've named. Taurasi is 40 years old and can still drop 30 in a game. Like, Sue Bird's played 20-some seasons, and I think she just hit like a mark that puts her 5th on the assist list. I could be a little off on that, and I apologize because I probably am. But, I mean, Griner changed the game a little bit. When she was in college basketball, women's college basketball was a massive deal. It's always a huge deal.
Yeah. She made women dunking.
I mean, I understand that.
And she's still young. She's got a long way to go.
That's why I said yet.
Yeah. I think there's a couple others. I think Breonna Stewart may end up there. Yep. Maya Moore would have, but she shows other paths. She kind of left the WNBA.
Maya Moore would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Breckers girl who plays at UConn right now. Probably the biggest name in women's college basketball next year. You have Sabrina
Ionescu.
Skylar Diggins.
Skylar Diggins is on my personal list.
Oh yeah, we like Skylar Diggins. Sabrina Ionescu is another one from Oregon. Very well could have a career that puts her up at the top of that list. That's just naming the ones that I know off the top of my head.
She just had a 30-point triple-double, first one in WNBA history, I believe.
Yeah, she was a walking triple-double in college.
Yep.
But again, over there on the West Coast, nobody cares. Dave spent all this time looking up stats just to prove me wrong. I test Dave. There's only one of those two that we're talking about.
Yes, I did.
Let me try to be sensitive here. Is not in headlines for doing something that she shouldn't have been doing.
Oh,
regardless, that matters. Okay,
but we're talking basketball. We're talking basketball.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. We're talking best basketball player. We're not talking about dumbasses.
Okay. So you're saying
we're talking about basketball.
The only thing that matters about a Rushmore is whatever the statistics say. That has nothing to do with life's personal decisions and being anything off the court. That has nothing to do with it.
Who's on the presidential Mount Rushmore, Frank?
Presidential?
Yeah, who's on the actual Mount Rushmore?
Nah, I don't care.
Correct.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that all the life choices they made would not be agreed with in today's current society.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is Britney Griner, NCAA champion, WNBA champion, 8-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champion, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Those are irrelevant, Dave. We're talking WNBA Mount Rushmore.
4 times and the Euro League.
Euro and Russian?
That's fine. I'm listening off for but
okay,
they all
with
go
that said, being impartial with both of you having picked one.
A fact. That's what they do.
Unfortunately, Dave, I'm going to have to go with Frank because as of right now, I don't even think Britney Griner's hit 30 yet. Sue Bird is pretty iconic.
Britney Griner's going to be there.
Yeah, 100%. She will probably take that place.
She'll be there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For those of you not following that case, Britney Griner is looking at up to 10 years right now for a technical charge, I believe, of drug smuggling is what she did.
And she pleaded guilty.
But I believe the maximum sentence, which is
speed up the process of
probably not uncommon in Russian court, is 10 years for what she's being charged with. So hopefully everything works out there. We can get something done, get her back. I know the WNBA is not the same without her. All-Star game, every player was wearing her number. They had her jersey on, and definitely on all our minds.
Yeah, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding it as well. Like You know how people are on social media. But here's the
Yeah.
thing. There's some things that you should go to prison for. I don't think what she was carrying with her in the airport is something you should go to prison for. Now,
I agree.
if it was copious amounts of heavy narcotic drugs that she literally got from a drug smuggler to bring in to deliberately sell to someone and spread, take her ass to prison.
Yeah.
It was like
Even Montrezl Harrell amounts of marijuana.
wasn't it?
That
I mean,
that's
it
reasonable.
was a vape pen, correct?
Yes.
Pretty much. Is that what it is? It was a vape pen. Doubt she's distributing that. Drug smuggling should be. I mean, it's Russia. Who cares? I mean, those dudes. I mean, come on. But like, drug smuggling, the charge should have to be with the intent to distribute.
I agree. Concurred.
If you're smuggling drugs, go to prison. She wasn't smuggling drugs. You know, she's carried that thing with her multiple times through airport securities. Just so happened that one time.
I think that's why everyone is extremely upset, because we agree with you. That doesn't seem equitable punishment for the crime that took place. And I think also it's the situation, the global environment that we're in right now. Seems like the view of most people is that government is taking advantage of her position and being as extreme as they possibly can.
I can see that. But anyway, we're going to switch gears and go to another formidable topic in terms of our boy, Baker Mayfield, has officially landed with the Carolina Panthers, who, one of the coolest stats I've heard about this, and Coop, I'm giving you credit for it. We were talking when it happened. I remember I sent Baker to Panthers in our Snapchat group. Coop replies. He says, so now they have 3 below-average quarterbacks still on their rookie deals on their roster. I laughed really hard when you said that, Coop. Just to let you know.
They do.
First of all, let's do a couple things. Number one, we've been talking about the Desean Watson thing. Don't know if he's still going to get to play or not. Who knows? Nothing new has really come out other than the Texans and the 30 other women have settled in their dispute there. Other than with him personally and him being able to play, I haven't heard anything. I don't think nothing's happened. Nothing new.
No. And just to clear that up, those 30 settlements were only with the Texans. They did not involve Desean at all. Yeah.
So as of right now, Desean Watson is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns until that changes. But now you switch gears. If you're the Browns, you're like, okay, we got rid of Baker. It's what's best for both of them. He didn't want to be here. We didn't really need him. Now he goes to the Carolina Panthers, who has Sam Darnold on their team, as well as Josh Rosen, if I'm not mistaken. That's the third one. But also, when the trade happened, you have Robbie Anderson, who is the number 1 wide receiver in Carolina, who has played with Sam Darnold on 2 different teams, back with the Jets and with the Carolina Panthers. Made some comments that maybe he thinks that Baker's not welcome there through social media. He commented no on an Instagram post, but he also followed up that comment with that was me being concerned for my quarterback, and right now Sam Darnold is my quarterback. He's been my quarterback pretty much my whole career. He commented and said that Sam Darnold didn't get a fair shake when it come to coming into the league. He didn't get to learn much. He didn't get to sit behind somebody. He referenced Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes as being the 3 guys that got to sit behind quarterbacks and learn on the way to being great. And he says that Sam Darnold has the ability to be great. Now, that is yet to be determined. But throwing Baker Mayfield in the mix, it makes things interesting. Primarily for me, I'm going to miss the Baker commercials more than anything.
Yeah. Did you see he tried to negotiate one where he was leaving home?
I didn't, but that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yep.
Progressive.
Yeah, I agree.
The boat. How do you not run with that? The guy wanted to do it.
That's hilarious. What kind of
I would
impact,
have switched my insurance
if any,
right then and there.
do you think Baker has on the Carolina Panthers? Do you think he stays a Panther?
Yeah, they're only paying him $5 million. They gave up a draft pick. There's no reason to get rid of him. I think he makes zero impact. Whether he starts or Sam Darnold starts, you're still looking at a sub-20 quarterback in the league. Panthers aren't making the playoffs. They're going to bang Christian McCaffrey to death trying to figure out the mess that they have taking snaps in front of them. Matt Corral, they spent their number 2 draft pick on that. I think it ended up being a 3rd rounder. But I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in Carolina. Zero.
They said, just give me all the quarterbacks. We'll find one that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty moot trade. I mean, the Browns showed their hand too early. They had the, 2-9 offset cards, and they went all in. They absolute idiots. I don't know why the Panthers wanted Baker, but, they got him for a deal, I guess you could say. But they're in a loaded NFC South with the Bucks and the Saints. Falcons, who knows what they're going to be like this year, but they're not trying to be competitive. They're just rebuilding. Maybe they try to flip him next year. He wins a couple games in a row, flip him for a prize. I don't know what
I think that the Panthers may have the 5th best quarterback in that division.
Who the hell is going to be the quarterback?
I don't even know if they're top 4. Like, you look at Atlanta, they brought in Mariota, and they have Ritter, right?
Yeah.
Out of Cincinnati. And I love Desmond Ritter. I think he's
both
gonna
of those guys will play for them. I know Mariota's kind of been thrown to the wolves a little bit with, him being in Oakland and not being the guy, but he still got to get in the game. And he's kind of been that 2 quarterback system type deal like you see in college a lot. I can see them doing that again in Atlanta. Oh, yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
And he was good in Tennessee, too. He went 2 or 3 years without throwing an interception in the red zone? I mean, granted, he probably wasn't throwing.
And in New Orleans, give me Jameis over both those guys any day of the week.
Still, I mean, he took care of the ball in the most critical part of the field.
Anyway, like you guys said, I don't. Easily. I mean, I would. It would be good for TV if Baker played, and you could. Can you imagine if Hard Knocks was there this year? How awesome would that be? I don't even know where it is. I don't know. Or with the Cleveland Browns, how awesome would that be?
Is it?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That's must see TV. I don't know. That's yet to be determined. I don't know. That's going to be the most viewed Hard Knocks. It'd be the most viewed Hard Knocks series ever.
That's a train wreck. But anyway, that's watching a train wreck. You don't want.
We're going to wrap up the show there, guys. We've had a good time. Good to be back on the mic again after a couple of weeks. We've been pretty busy. Things happen. Summer vacations, all that good stuff. Birthday parties, things like that. We have 2 birthday parties in summertime, and they're not fun for adults. My kids are probably going to stop having birthday parties when they're 4. So, bam, there's mine.
That 5th one will get you right when you think you're done, Frank. That 5th birthday is the one that gets you.
Well, Presley's 6th birthday is coming up August, so
good luck.
I don't know. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up right there. We'll hope to see you guys next week. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share us anywhere you possibly can. Love you. Peace.